Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go over our daily technical analysis update of gold and silver. We'll look at the dollar, we'll look at the 10-year yield, and then we're going to go into gold and silver companies and ETFs to get a better picture of what the overall sector is doing. Again, please don't use this as advice. Please use it as just my financial opinion. We'll dive in here. I'll let the charts do the talking. You'll see that I went to the black screen because apparently cool people who chart a lot use black screens, but it's also easier to see, I think. And in all honesty, I could care less if it's white or black. It doesn't matter. So here's the Dixie. This is the dollar index. The index it's broken out of this pattern. It's been moving on up, and there's the potential to maybe even hit a full retest of this thing. So what happens is you go into these patterns, you break out of them, you can retest, and then you usually break to the downside of a pattern like this. But it's been doing a return move of the pattern for the dollar. And remember, it's just an index. Does not mean that the actual value of the dollar is increasing. It just means that it's increasing against other currencies which are going down. The 10-year yield. Looking at it from a big long-term perspective, I just threw one trend line in there. We're right there trying to break out of this downtrend line to the upside. Zooming in on it, we've got kind of an inverted head and shoulders pattern. We've been stuck between this support line and resistance line. We've been bouncing back and forth, back and forth. And right today, we were up 1.36% or so on the yield. Usually, my guess is that we're going to firm up on our oil, gold, silver, and all of our companies that like inflation. So I think we're probably going to firm up here if the yield holds on here. We've had a lot of, we'll call it moronic variant fear in the market. And I definitely wouldn't want, another variant coming. Maybe we'll call that one doofus, the doofus variant that's after this. But overall, we're between these two support and resistance lines, and that's where we've been going back and forth. Gold had a little bit of a down day today. There it is right there. We had a nice, good reversal candlestick. It reversed higher, and then we had another reversal candlestick last trading session with the wick at the top. We came back down. We could come a little bit more. What we want to see is a tight, controlled, smaller down days than this large up day here. It's just saying that the selling pressure is smaller than the buying pressure. But everything's okay. We're in the pattern. The only thing that I'll say when looking at this chart, I'm going to circle some things here. Big, of course, I can't circle with the text one. There we go. We've got big down day there. We have a big down day here. We have big down days here. See these big impulse moves lower here? That's the only thing I don't like seeing in this pattern. See all those that I circled? And what could potentially happen is we scare people out. It breaks to the downside to like down here. Gets everybody scared out. And then what happens is then it breaks on up. Now, I'm not saying that this is necessarily going to happen, but we do have these large impulse moves lower that I've been tracking just recently. And I just wanted to comment on that it could do a move like that. And people are going to say, it's over, it's done with, oh my gosh, it's all over with. And the underlying structural market conditions will push this higher. It's just, we are very early to this mix, and we could have this fake out move. If we get this fake out move, it doesn't mean that the gold and silver complex is going to be done. I'm just saying that we could see a move like this, and then it'll rally from it. So get ready. Take these out of here. Silver. And again, when I look at this, it looks like we're trying to find some support right at the fib retracement area. That's what the different color of shades are. Nice little reversal pattern there. That's what this is here, a nice reversal. We've got 2 small down days. This does look like it's trying to put in a bottom and move on up. I will note, though, let me note this. See these big down days? When you see that, you can sometimes get a little pullback like we've got. And that's just the one thing I wanted to note. And if you do a little bit larger view, that's too large of a view, but just wanted to note those 2 things. And I'm going to undo those in there. So that's silver. It's looking like it's trying to turn. Platinum is consolidating down into its support line. If I had a little bit more cash, I'd continue to just sprinkle in. And even if this were to come back down, there it is right there. It doesn't look bad here. We do have this large bearish engulfing here, and I haven't seen a reversal candlestick yet. So we could be moving sideways for a little bit, or maybe slightly lower, until we see that turning point candlestick. Where the buyers come in and say, hey, we're here. The moronic variant is over. But we haven't seen it yet. The XAU to gold ratio, zooming in on the right-hand side, we do have a hammer pattern on a weekly basis. And it was coming up a little bit today, saying the miners were a little bit stronger than gold itself. I do like seeing these large buying, we'll call it ratio moves, and then the smaller downward move. And then you've got a gap between this bottom here and this here, and we did it in far shorter trading days. I think this will resolve upward, hopefully. And that's what it looks like on a big long-term perspective. If we break this to the upside, man, we are going to party. It's going to be fun. Here's Karora Resources. This is on the dailies. A little bit of a bearish candlestick. We might bounce back and forth here, work off this downward momentum. But it's setting up good. It looks like it's trying to find a bottom. Same with Endeavor Silver. Looks like we're finding some good support down here at this fib retracement level. It's popped up higher, so we'll probably move sideways for a little bit. SILJ, it's just like EXK. We pull back, and we're probably going to go into a sideways movement. And GDX is also moving sideways at this moment. Metallic minerals, a little bit of a reversal candlestick the past 2 days. Maybe we have a little bit more of a sell-off and find support. So we broke the downtrend. We usually go sideways for a little bit, consolidate, and then we head on higher. Hopefully. Koya is still in the downtrend. I don't know if I'd be chasing here. Discovery Silver, up day today, ended pretty strong. Looks like we're just, this is like a violent sideways motion back and forth. This is First Majestic Silver. We're at a fib retracement down here at 992. Again, it's almost like a, let me throw something in here. It's like we've got another pattern scribing out here that we just broke to the upside there. Another descending wedge. It's like a descending wedge stacked on a descending wedge. And we've broken to the upside here. It looks bullish piercing, bullish engulfing pattern almost. Down here, if you guys have a long-term perspective, it might be okay to add a little bit for First Majestic. Newmont Corporation, a little down day today. Sometimes, hold on, let me see here. Big up day, reversal candlestick, little small down day. The sellers aren't here. I think we're about to break out of this little resistance area up here. And hopefully we can start moving higher. Notice, downtrend, sideways, and this is where we start to move on up. Big volume on a large up day a couple trading sessions ago. I think it looks good to turn, to start moving up here soon. Yamana Gold, this is a bullish engulfing pattern right here today. A nice good buying pressure here. I think we're probably going to try to start moving higher here. And you can see it kind of consolidating here, and I think we're probably going to see a move higher is where I think we're going to try to do. Impact Silver looks like it's finding its good support. If you guys are brave enough, it's up to you on what you want to do here. Aftermath silver has been just chopping sideways for a little while. We're at support right now. So, I mean, we've got the downtrend movement, the sideways movement, and this is usually where we start coming back up. That would be a good spot to be looking if we can get some momentum here to the upside, obviously. Sandstorm gold, we're putting in this big bullish pattern here on a weekly candlestick basis. Today we were basically flat, and like to see this thing bounce to the upside. If we can get gold and silver to follow through, I think this one will look pretty good. It's basically almost a double bottom here. Franco-Nevada, small update today. We're right at support. This is where I kind of sprinkle a little bit. Not saying that you guys should be doing that, but it's up to you on what you want to do. I can't give advice. But in my opinion, little sprinkles here and there might be okay. And if we break to the downside here, I'm in it for the long term, so I can handle that type of movement. If you can't handle that type of movement, I'd wait for a break to the upside. If you guys are more of a trading mentality, I'm not. I'm an investor. I try buying the cheapest price and cost average in. EMX royalty had its little breakout down here to the downside. Nice candlestick today. This is a reversal hammer pattern. This is what it looks like on a daily basis. Zoom in here. Hammer candlestick pattern. Does have a lot of momentum yesterday, but we'll see where this one goes tomorrow. Tune resources, bearish engulfing. We could see a little bit more of a pullback before moving anywhere. This is what it looks like on a bigger long-term perspective. We've been playing with this lower support line. Wheat and precious metals, still in the pattern. We're still going okay, kind of just chopping sideways at the moment. Go to the dailies. We got this little pattern going on. Maybe we come back and revisit 37. Maybe not. Gold royalty moving sideways. I think they acquired another royalty company today or something like that. I saw. Usually when you acquire something, it goes down that day. And that's what we've got. Down day today. But it looks like we're trying to find some support here. Right at basically where it's at. Metalla Minerals, or Metalla Royalty. Metalla Royalty. This guy's looking quite strong today. I mean, up 7.21%. It's like we pulled back here, hit all these stop losses in this moronic virus of everyone fearful and shifting money around and people moving to 10-year bonds to basically compress the yields. But we're finding yield support here. Hopefully we can remove and break this to the upside. And then it's a big old pattern that we'd be breaking to the upside. A nice good hammer pattern on the monthly candlestick. Mavericks Metals putting in a big old monthly hammer pattern as well on the weeklies. Bullish engulfing on the weeklies. Did very well today. Bullish engulfing on the dailies. Can this fight and come back? We'll see what happens. That's Mavericks Metals. Royal Gold peeking out, doing a little turtle head of its pattern here. Oh, it's on the downtrend line that we were peeking out. The overall bigger pattern is still intact here, and we've just been moving up in this channel for the most part. Let me get this one out of here. There we go. There we go. Logarithmic. There we go. There we go. So there we are, trying to break there. This one's a Cisco Gold Royalty. We're still inside this monster pattern. Let me back out. That's the monster pattern on a monthly basis. We break this to the upside and get moving. It's going to be a fun ride. It will be a fun ride. So that's what I have for the overall sector here, for the gold and silver sector. I think we're developing okay. I want to see buying pressure. I want to see these things lift to the upside. I'm a bull, and in all honesty, guys, if we go down, I'm just going to buy more. I am very intertwined with the thesis of the channel. I don't have any data to say that this isn't going to go up with time. Problem is, people look at the short term, they develop their beliefs, their emotions, and all these things grab a hold of them, and they switch their ideas of what the market is very quickly. The market doesn't move that quick. It moves in 5 to 10 year spans. That 5 to 10 year span, we are changing from the real estate market's changing into an expansionary phase, which is inflationary. We could be having a greater cycle change. The greater cycle change is a 40-year decline in interest rates to a 20, 30, 40-year increasing interest rate environment. If that's the case, then we've nailed the bottom here. And we just got to hold on for the next 10, 20, 30 years. And it doesn't mean that your payout will be that. It means that this market conditions will continue to push these higher over time. Think of it as like the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Something in that type of framework. And these big old patterns that we've got, and I can go into those other ones in the commodities, they're putting in like these massive 40-year patterns. So I think it's coming. And the patterns are telling us that. I mean, the Cisco Gold here, this is a massive pattern behind me. It will look fantastic when it breaks the upside. The lowest risk spot to buy this is on the break and the retest of the break. That is the lowest risk in terms of trading these things. I don't trade. I'm an investor. I go off of ratios. The ratios are ridiculous for these things in terms of gold to monetary base, gold to Dow ratio, and those ratios will change. In fact, I think I've got, let me see if I've got the Dow to gold ratio here just to show you guys real quick. Here it is. The Dow to gold ratio looks like it could potentially be breaking down, and that's why I want to look at this. We've got a little hammer pattern. It's hanging on at the moment. Is this a shoulder, head, shoulder with a breakout to the downside potentially? I'm not going to speculate on this anymore. You can also put a line through here and say that it's kind of basically squeezing up here with the potential break to the downside. Maybe we come back up and roll over. I don't know. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3. There's 3 on an increasing or ascending wedge pattern where we could break this to the downside. Why is this important and why am I showing you this? This is important because when gold starts to outperform stocks, you're going to see the rotation of money happen. We're right there. We're trying to break. So we could get dragged down with the overall market, with the moronic virus. Maybe this reverses and goes on up. The conditions are there for us to be successful, I think, on the long-term perspective. So we'll see where this thing goes. Let's monitor it over the next week or two. If you guys are interested in this type of stuff, subscribe to the channel for sure. Give me the thumbs up on the content. This is an important one to watch. So if you guys want to watch something, watch the Dow Jones Industrial Average against gold. If gold starts to outperform, I think we got our answer. And if you start to see rates go up, that would be the best of all scenarios. Gold starts outperforming the Dow and rates start going up and money starts just rotating over. It'll be so much fun to see our accounts go up instead of bleeding off a little bit in these pullbacks. If you guys like it, thumbs up. Thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.